How are you folks? Welcome into Around the ICC European Edition with me, Kevin Egan. And on this week's show, we'll dive into the weekend that was in Europe's top leagues. I'll give you my take on Gareth Bale's time at Real Madrid, and we've got our European Golden Shoe predictions. So let's go. Let's kick off in England, where Jurgen Klopp was all smiles after what was a cushy 2-0 win against a supposed contender in Chelsea. Now, it was the perfect day for Klopp. Think about it. 100% start intact in this Premier League season, a clean sheet on the road against the top six side, especially after the defence had an off week last weekend. Mane gets on the mark after seeing Salah bag a hat-trick, and at number 4 for me, Thiago made his debut and looked like an absolute boss in midfield, setting a Premier League record with 75 completed passes in just 45 minutes. As for Chelsea, you'll improve, but I don't think you can ever really call yourself a contender with Kepa in goal. The world's most expensive keeper isn't anywhere near the top, and you better hope Edouard Mendy is better. I look forward to seeing the team with Pulisic, Ziyech, Havertz and Werner when they can all play together. Speaking of juicy attacks, how about Spurs? Son with 4 goals, Kane with all 4 assists. In fact, it's the first time in Premier League history that a player has assisted his teammate 4 times in a game. Just what the doctor ordered for Jose Mourinho after losing the opening weekend at home against Everton. 5 goals on the road for the special one. He'll absolutely love that. Over in Germany, Bayern Munich showed that scoring 8 can become the norm. And I mean seriously, Gnabry scored 3. Sané looked absolutely ridiculous for them. And I know Schalke have a lot of problems, but I didn't think it was that bad. Bayern Munich were scintillating throughout. Robert Lewandowski, we'll get to him a little bit later on in the show. But yes, of course, they're firm favourites to win it all again. Weston McKennie dodged that bullet. But meanwhile, up the road, his US men's national team buddy, Gio Reyna, scored his first Bundesliga goal, and Erling Haaland added 2 as Dortmund dismantled Borussia Mönchengladbach on Saturday. Bellingham, Reyna, Haaland, Sancho. It's the most promising attack in Europe, and one day, folks, I think we're going to look back and say, remember all those legends when they played for Dortmund as kids. To Italy, where champions Juventus got off to a winning start under new manager Andrea Pirlo. And the big news, Weston McKennie started this match. How life can come at you pretty fast. 1 minute you're at a sinking team in Germany, linked with similar level clubs. Next minute, out of nowhere, you're flying to Turin to play for Pirlo alongside Cristiano Ronaldo. Absolutely unreal. Also, he was incredible in this game. McKennie didn't let the occasion faze him at all. He played that Blaise Matuidi role perfectly, and I'm delighted for you, Weston. Keep it up, you can be a real star at Juve. The old lady won 3-0 with Ronaldo, Bonucci and youngster Kulusevski on target, but it was Aaron Ramsey for me and McKennie that impressed the most. A perfect start for Pirlo, with Juve looking fun to watch, and this performance makes me think Juve absolute firm favourites for a 10th straight title. To Spain we go, where Real Madrid kicked off their title defence with a 0-0 draw against Real Sociedad at Anoeta. Now, on one side you keep a really talented attack in Real Sociedad, scoreless. Isak or Yarzabal. They had certain chances, but Los Blancos looked reasonably comfortable. But I do have some questions for Zinedine Zidane's men. Why was Casemiro dropped? He was your best player last season. Played the most minutes as well. No Fede Valverde either. Instead, Zinedine Zidane handed Martin Odegaard a creative role ahead of Modric and Kroos in the midfield, with Vinicius, Benzema and Rodrigo up top. A ridiculously talented team, and an attack-minded team at that. No breakthrough though. Barca and Atleti kick off their seasons next week. Time to play a little thumbs up or thumbs down when it comes to the latest transfer dealings, and we will start with Liverpool's new signing in midfield, Thiago. For me, this is a home run thumbs up. For the price you're paying for him, the star that he is, at the age he is as well, he can continue to play for another 4 or 5 years. Thiago set a Premier League record, 75 completed passes in 45 minutes in his debut against Chelsea. This here is an absolute win and a steal for Liverpool. Next up for me, Sergio Reguilón from Real Madrid to Tottenham Hotspur. Thumbs up. I think he's an underrated left back. One of the best left backs in the world already. Real Madrid will regret letting him go, although they do already have Ferland Mendy, who's the starter for France, Marcelo, who is arguably a starter for Brazil, so they can afford to let him go. But Reguilón joining Spurs is an instant hit for Jose Mourinho's men. A really good defender, good getting forward, and just your classic Spanish fullback. So tidy on the ball. thumbs up for me. And the final one, Gareth Bale from Real Madrid to Tottenham Hotspur. Thumbs up, Gareth. 31 years of age, 105 goals for Real Madrid in 251 games. He was a superstar at times for Los Blancos, but he should have left earlier, and Gareth Bale now goes to Spurs when you need him. Think about it. Son, Kane, Gareth Bale. After what we saw at the weekend, Spurs fans, you should be very excited. Here we go, ICC Team of the Weekend. In goal, I'm picking Alisson. A penalty save, a clean sheet at Stamford Bridge in a 2-0 win, a no-brainer. At right back in this 3-5-2, I'm going to go with Emerson from Betis, keeping a clean sheet and really impressive, as always, tearing forward. Centre back, I'm picking Fabinho, who was converted to play from midfield in that position for Jurgen Klopp. Seamless transition for the Brazilian, top class. Alongside him, PSG's captain Marquinhos scored for the Parisians in a 3-0 victory against Nice. Sadio Mane takes up the position on the left-hand side for me. A brace in what was a brilliant performance for him. He's top class. Now he bags 2 after Salah scored a hat-trick last week. Weston McKennie in midfield for Juventus. Star performance in his debut for the old lady. Gio Reyna, I'm picking his American buddy, scored his first Bundesliga goal for Borussia Dortmund. Congratulations, you make the team. Leroy Sané gets in ahead of Serge Gnabry for me. Probably a sentimental pick. The reason is he's coming back from an ACL tear, and I thought he was absolutely lightning quick and just so good going forward in every aspect of his game for Bayern Munich. Harry Kane had 4 assists, creating a little bit of history, all while scoring a goal for himself. He gets in, as does Dominic Calvert-Lewin, hat-trick for Everton in a team that's been led by the one and only James Rodriguez. Alright guys, European Golden Shoe predictions time from 5 through 1. At 5, Cristiano Ronaldo. I still think he's going to make the top 5, but nowhere near winning it this year. 35 years of age now. Yes, he'll score a lot of penalties, but I don't think he'll be up there breaking the 30 mark this season. In at 4, Leo Messi. He's angry. This could be his final season at the Camp Nou, and he's going to end with a bang. At 3, Robert Lewandowski. The reason I have him at 3 is I think they'll share the wealth further forward for Munich with Leroy Sané now. Serge Gnabry also scoring an awful lot of goals. At 2, Erling Haaland. I think he's going to do what Lewandowski did last season. He could break 40, maybe even 50 goals in all competitions this season, especially with Reina, Bellingham, Sancho in behind, creating for him. But at 1, I think we're going to see a record year if he can stay fit this season, and that's for the one and only Kylian Mbappe at Paris Saint-Germain. Liga is a weaker league. We know that. Neymar helping him out further forward. Mbappe is going to score for fun. Gareth Bale was an absolute flop at Real Madrid. Didn't even speak Spanish. All he wanted to do was go and play golf. What are you talking about? Gareth Bale at Real Madrid scored over 100 goals. Bale was unbelievable. Copa del Rey final, Champions League finals. He's a legend at Real Madrid, better than the original Ronaldo. Had more assists than Zinedine Zidane. Look, guys, I'm going to take both of your arguments here. I think there's somewhere that we can meet in the middle. Gareth Bale was phenomenal for Real Madrid, but at times he underwhelmed. At times he just couldn't get fit. So I think when we're discussing Gareth Bale and his time at the Santiago Bernabeu, we need to break it down and realise that this player went there across to Real Madrid and did score 105 goals in 251 games. And they weren't just your average goals. These were some huge game winners. I'm thinking of that Copa del Rey final. I'm thinking of the Champions League finals that he was part of, the 4 Champions Leagues that he won. He was part of one of the greatest tridents that we've ever seen in the game, in the BBC. Bale, Benzema and Cristiano. We should respect that. We should actually look back on that in time, and we will look back on that in time, and really say that Gareth Bale was absolutely brilliant at Real Madrid. But here's the truth. The truth is, over the past 2 years, he's been anything but. Hasn't hit double-digit goals in La Liga. Zinedine Zidane and Bale have clearly clashed. He's wanted him out. It hasn't happened. After the 2018 Champions League final, Gareth Bale spoke about potentially leaving the club straight after the game. And I know Zidane did leave shortly after that, and Ronaldo also spoke about it too, but it just goes to show you that in life we can find middle ground. Gareth Bale was tremendous at Real Madrid for large periods of his time there, but there were other times when he simply wasn't. We did get to enjoy Gareth Bale though over in the US. ICC memory, Bale from distance. Back in 2014, Bale picks the ball up just inside the attacking half, and man does he let rip. An absolute belter with the left foot, kicking through the ball, the swerve on it as well. 1-1 draw against Inter. Bale with a cracker. Alright guys, that's all we have time for this week's episode of Around the ICC European Edition with me, Kevin Egan. As always, check out the fixture with Meg Linehan and head to internationalchampionscup.com for all the latest European football news. Until next week, ciao ciao.